Everybody, it is Elle, and today we're reading about Jack and Lily Sullivan. And they're the two little kids in Nova Scotia who went missing. Lily was 6 and Jack is 4, and really just babies. And they were said by their parents to have wandered out into the woods all by themselves, and they were not to be found. That is the theory, anyway. Nobody really knows because the parents were in bed. So this is my look for them card on the bottom. Some people say this card is significant. This one is saying look in the water. Sometimes we get that card when things can be found in the water. So I'll just throw that out there. Some people believe the bottom card is significant. Some people do not. I say kind of keep an eye on my readings and make your own ideas after we find out what really happened. So we are going to ask a lot of questions, and I'm doing this reading because a lot of you have asked me to do this reading. I've also wanted to do this reading too. It's over a month now. I mean, they went missing May 2nd. Today is June 7th. Said they've just wandered out in the woods. I've watched body language experts kind of tearing up, what's going on with the mother when she talks and what's going on with the stepfather when he talks, and look at them here, look at them there. This doesn't make sense. So we're going to read about all of this. And I've got all your questions written down too. And I've got questions of my own. We're going to approach it as a normal case. I mean, at this point, there's 3 things that could happen. They either wandered away, there was foul play, or it was an accident. I am going to throw abducted in there just because, they're cute little kids. I mean, any kid can be abducted, cute or not, but that's a possibility. So with that said, I'm just going to focus on them. If you haven't seen them, I'm guessing most of you know this case, but for those of you who may not, this is Lily. I've got quite the glare, but isn't she adorable? That's Lily, 7. I believe she's 7. Is she 6 or 7? And this is Jack. I mean, they're cute little kids. And they're gone, just gone. Okay, so there's been extensive searches all around their house. These kids have not been found. They've pulled back from searching as much because they're not finding anything. But one time they did find a print on the ground, a boot print. They thought might be one of theirs. So we're going to ask if it was. And we'll go from there. All right, so the first thing we're going to ask is, were they abducted? That was one of your questions. Were they abducted? When I say abducted, I mean by somebody, not their own parents. Someone came and took them out of the house. This is the Ace of Pentacles. This is a little concerning to me, only because, back here is kind of like a wooded area. And there's a path through it. And then there was a thought that maybe they had gone through a gate. So this makes me a little nervous when I see that. I don't know if their area is mountainous. I'm not sure. We've got a mountain in the background here, and it's kind of like, with the pentacle. Pentacle is a tangible thing, something you can potentially find, but it does show kind of a wooded outdoor scene. So that makes me a little worried. I'm not feeling abducted from that card. Now, if I got the 7 of Swords, 5 of Swords, or something like that, I'd say abducted. Or, some of my sketchy cards, but that does kind of put me more towards going into the woods, which I don't like. All right, let's see if they actually wandered away on their own. So let me focus on that for a second. Wandered away on their own. Did these kids wander away on their own? This is potentially they could be kids. They're outside a house, and it looks like somebody gives them something. So that, what does that mean? This person's being kind to them, being nice to them, giving them things outside of their house. We did not feel somebody had abducted them per se, but we do have a scene outside the house. And we had this scene outside the house. So I feel at this point that we're outside the house, It seems obvious that that is what happened. This doesn't really feel like somebody wandered away. It feels more like, I mean, this could be them, Jack and Lily, but it feels like, for one thing, I see these people being dressed appropriately for the weather, which my understanding is they were not. And this feels like a good interaction. So with that said, let me continue to read and see what else we get here. We're going to read about foul play now. Like I said, if this was foul play, I would expect things like the Tower, the Death card, the Seven of Swords, the Five of Swords. There's certain cards that pop out that do tell me foul play. So we're going to see if there's one of those in here. So far, I have them outside and somebody like giving them something or being nice to them. All right, again, weirdly, we have these like all these like, this is my nice guy, my Knight of Cups. He comes and he gives you things. He's really nice. And he like if he hurts your feelings, he's gonna come apologize. This person is coming to be kind to people. So why do we have this kind of wooded scenario and then like a person coming and being kind to them, making up for something? Being good, apologizing. This is often let me apologize. And these white flowers are jumping out at me too here and there in this card. Again, symbols of apology. And here we have white flowers, which are pulling me. I have all this apologizing going on. It's different. It's different. I haven't gotten this with anything before. What does somebody have to apologize for? All right, let me ask about an accident. An accident. Was this an accident? Was this an accident? Well, potentially an accident. This is the Six of Wands, and that is a travel card. It can be a travel card. It can be a victory card, as in overcoming something. But there's also in this Six of Wands, like somebody succeeding, but there's this other person who's like jealous of them over here. There's this other person who's watching and kind of jealous and doesn't really like all of this happiness or wish it was theirs. It's kind of odd, isn't it? Okay. Okay. We're going to keep reading. It looks odd to me. Looks odd to me. We are going to ask about the parents. Many of you have theorized about parents being involved. So now we're just going to come out and ask, is someone else involved? We've got a scenario where somebody is someone else involved. Feels like they have something to apologize for. And there's some jealousy or something going on. Someone else involved in their disappearance of these two kids. Well, that's my S card. That's my YES. I always think of these cups as YES. Wow, loud and clear. So it is looking like someone else is involved in their disappearance. With that, we're going to ask for the people that were closest in that area. Not a lot of people around there. So we've got dad, mom, and grandma, it sounds like. So let's ask about dad. Stepdad, I do believe. I don't think he was real dad. But the father in the home of Jack and Lily at the time that they disappeared. Let's ask about his involvement. Well, this is strength. This is actually a woman shutting a man's mouth, which is interesting. Someone overcoming something stronger than them. When I say shut a man's mouth, I should say that is a lion, but the woman is, what's happening here is we have somebody who's very strong, but someone else has power too. And that powerful person, maybe a meeker person, maybe not physically as strong, but is able to possess control over this person and make them be quiet. That's what we've got here. And I got that card with mom. So I got that card representing Mom. Having strength over someone else who actually is stronger than her. Keeping their mouth closed. Okay. Why? Because this person's actually closing the lion's mouth. Keep your mouth shut. All right. So that's the card we got from Mom. Kind of a keep your mouth shut card. Having more power over this other person. All right. We're going to ask about Dad. I know a lot of you have theorized about Dad. You're going to have to tell me what you think when you see these cards and it's all coming together in your mind. What is this leading to? So tell us about Dad. Dad being involved. Dad being involved. Well, this is the Chariot card. This is often interesting because we got this card of victory over here when we asked about an accident. And this is a similar card, and we have Dad involved. This is the Chariot. Chariot in readings like this, Chariot is a victory card, succeeding, having, look, he's got power over two, which my question is this Lily and Jack down here. This is a vehicle too, often. This is when somebody is moved, taken from one spot, put in another. Taken from the place that they passed and put somewhere else. We got it, remember from Michael Gain, even in that reading we did with him. And we got he was in water. Well, now we know he was moved and put into one of those sludge tanks or whatever, fertilizer tanks with liquid stuff that they spray all over the ground. So I'm getting he may have been involved in a vehicle that had something to do with them being moved. And I hate to say it, but that's kind of what I'm getting here. It's interesting, these two also, when I ask about parents, these are major arcanas, both of them. The first major arcanas we've got. So we've got the Strength card, we've got the Chariot card. These are kind of loud cards saying, hey, pay special attention to these. So with that said, we'll move on. All right, so we were going to ask about Grandma too. What does Grandma know? Is she involved? Let's see if Grandma's involved. Is Grandma involved in any of this? Grandma. Is Grandma involved in any of this? Well, that is the Ace of Wands, and that is somebody with a new activity. Somebody, I hate to say it, but the person's aware of an activity, it seems to be. The person is aware of a new activity around this time that these kids disappeared. And that's the whole thing is discouraging. Now, we did not get a major arcana for Grandma, so I don't think she's directly involved. I think she may know about some activity, though. She may have some knowledge of an activity that occurred around the disappearance time, and whether that's been disclosed or not. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and ask what happened. What happened here? What happened with these kids? What happened with Jack and Lily? All right, so what happened with Jack and Lily? Okay, so this is a justice card. This is somebody who taking power into their own hands and making their own decisions on how things should be handled. And I mean, often it's a card of fairness, and sometimes it's a card of I'm going to bring justice to the situation because I don't feel it's just. So what does that mean with these other things we've got tied in? We're going to continue to read. That card, we got justice for what happened. Sometimes people take their own justice on things. Sometimes somebody decides, like they call like kind of street justice, like somebody takes justice into their own hands and says, I will be the one that is going to get justice in this. We may be along those lines. All right. So let me ask, I'm just going to ask for a little more clarification on that. A little bit more clarification on this justice card with in regards to what happened. Sounds like somebody may have taken justice in their own hands. What happened to Jack and Lily? All right, so now we have, we're pointing towards a woman. This woman has overpowered this, it's a, I believe a hawk, has it kind of, they're captured, you know, and it's interesting because we got the same kind of theme for the mother in this strength card. How she had overpowered and was closing the mouth of the lion. Now we have this woman who has overpowered and is holding this kind of like thing doing her bidding. And so I'm questioning why we keep getting this kind of theme of cards when we read about mom. What is that? Some people say this is a cuckold, you know, if they have a cuckold, sometimes you get a card like this. It very well may be pointing to some other things going on in their lives that maybe have not come out that we don't know about. All right, we're just going to ask, where are these kids? Where are they? We're just going to give a where are they? Then we're going to ask some specifics, some landmarks, things like that. Where are Jack and Lily? Where are they? Where are Jack and Lily? All right, so here's the King of Cups. We did have stuff that made me think father before, maybe potentially, possibly move them. Maybe let's just say a man. But we did get the chariot when we read about the father. We did get this whole making your own justice with a man. And now we have the King of Cups. The King of Cups is over water. His throne is on water. So that does make you wonder. It's not usually a card I get for water, but is it standing for a person? Could somebody, a King of Cups type, because we got this whole Knight of Cups thing, and we got the whole somebody possibly being jealous of this situation. Could someone have them? Water, could someone have them? It's questionable. Questionable, because we saw this befriending and a man coming and being kind, and we did see that in that Knight of Cups, and we did see it. I'm talking about these two when they were outside, and we did see this whole jealousy thing going on. And we asked if someone else was involved, and we got yes. So, where are they? We got the King of Cups. Are they with a man? I'm questioning. When they're little, I don't like to ask, are they, you know, physical state, but I am questioning this. Either a man took them away and did something with them, which it would be pointing probably to that at that point, or there's another man involved. We did have a mother with potentially shutting another man's mouth. Maybe her husband, or is it a husband? I think it is. Boyfriend, whatever it is she lives with. Maybe somebody else. All right. Let's get a little bit more information on that. When we ask about where are Jack and Lily, are they with someone else? Are they with someone currently? Are they currently with someone else? Are Jack and Lily currently with someone else? This is a man. He's working on something. He's outside their house. He's off work. It could be relating to something with someone's work. We're getting some odd cards here. I really want, when this is solved, I hope it is solved, to put all this together, because it's kind of odd right now. Okay. Let's ask for our closest known landmark. I mean, when I ask if they're with somebody, we get this 8 of Pentacles, which looks like they're possibly with a man. Maybe related to some, or knows someone through work. But we're asking now closest known landmark to where they are. They're somewhere. Got a lot of guys in here. Closest known landmark. Well, this is the family area, isn't it? Closest known landmark looks like the family home. I mean, look, mom, dad, Jack and Lily over here. So closest known landmark, it looks like they could possibly be around the family home. If not that home, someone else in the family's home. It looks like they're not too far from a home. Is there a little river that might go by their area, their house, something? I don't know. I don't know what Nova Scotia's like. Eh, it's concerning. It's concerning. That would be the closest known landmark. A clue to know where to go. Clue to know where to go. Clue to know where to go to find them. Well, this is the Page of Wands. This is like looking for something growing amidst everything that seems to have dried up, which is a very strange something to get. But it feels like with this investigation, what is new that looks like a potential? I feel like there is something. There is something there. Everything else is dried up. A clue to know where to go. This is nothing like the landscape they're in. So we have to think of it in a different way. What is around them that's kind of just dried up and not moving forward. And then all of a sudden you have this little bit of, oh, look over there. There's a little hint of something. There's a little hint of something here. And I feel like in the cards, there's a little hint of something here. It's weird. We're kind of seeing this like somebody trying to make up with someone, this jealousy situation, someone trying to take justice into their own hands. It's just odd cards, odd cards. I think there's something more with the parents going on and their other lives, like around their lives, than what we know. I'll just say that. Okay. Will they be found? Well, this is a card that I'm sure we all want to know. Will Jack and Lily be found? Will they be found? Will Jack and Lily be found? It's been a long time. Will Jack and Lily be found? Yeah, they will be. Sometimes this card means, I mean, it's water. And we had that King of Cups, which made me a little nervous. Remember I said, could be with a guy, could be in or near water. Well, this is a water card, and this is a card like sometimes it stands for a bridge. Somebody's put off a bridge or things like that. I don't know what Nova Scotia's like again. It's concerning. Concerning. It looks like in water. I guess it could be frozen ice or something. I don't know what the weather's like there, but it's not great, that one. Not great. I hope they're found. I hope they're found and it's not in water. You know, that would be best case scenario. That can stand for a bridge. Okay. Anything else we should know about them being found, or how can they be found? Anything else we should know about them being found, or how can they be found? You can put dogs on water. They did it with what was that kid? Was it Riley Strain? I hope I'm remembering the right name. Anyhow, you can put dogs on water and have them sniff things. All right, will they be found? I think they will be. This is kind of a quick card too. So it means they may be found pretty quickly from now. Again, it's like the home's way back here and there's like a mountain, but there's a little water running through. I would question, is there water around their house? We've seen that come up a couple times. So there's something a little questioning It's making me question things. Okay. Let me ask tips for searchers on this. Tips for searchers looking for them to find them. Tips for searchers. Where, what would help people find them? This is concerning. Tips for searchers, and I ask, and it's got the lovers, you know, the male and female. I know many of you are going to say mom and dad. It is concerning. It is a concerning card when I ask tips for searchers, and it's like, hey, look at the guy and the girl right in front of you. It's concerning. I would love that not to be the case. I'm sure we all would love that not to be the case. I am concerned about some of the things I'm seeing here. It's hard not to be. Okay, what do I wish I had asked? What will I wish I had asked? Because there's always that thing afterwards, and you're like, why didn't I ask that? I am going to get to more of your questions in a minute here too. What do I wish I had asked? Oh, this is more about the dad and the land, their own homeland, and the vastness around their land. So I guess I would wish I had asked, were they on the land right around the house? Which I thought we kind of got a card that said they were. But let's ask it. Are they on the land right around the house? Because we also got cards that seemed like they were kind of taken away or moved. Are they on the land right around the house? Kind of concerning cards, because this is people fighting. This is people arguing, not getting along. We have a mother and child up here. We have this person, which is resting on a coffin. Their thoughts kind of getting to them. And again, that's the man, the mother and child up here. It just there's a lot going on with themes of potential conflict. Does make you wonder how the dynamics within the family. It does make you wonder. I'll just say that. It makes me wonder about the dynamics within the family. Okay. Will the truth come out? That was one of your questions. Will the truth on this come out about what happened with Jack and Lily? Will the truth come out? I do think they're going to be found pretty soon. Yeah, the truth will come out. And, you know, I hate to say it, but again, it's pointing towards a man. We've got a king before as the person who, when I asked, like, where are they? We've got kind of this man and woman when we ask, like, tips for searchers, where can you find them? You know, could be another man, but definitely there seems to be a male involvement here. Looks like female involvement as well, or at least knowledge of. Okay, the truth will come out though, and we will know a man was involved. That's what I'm getting. One of you asked, was this parental harm? So we're just going to ask that straight out. We have had cards kind of guiding us in that direction. Was this parental harm? That looks like somebody working through some very hard times, trying to push through, having a lot on their burden carrying on their shoulder. It is a man. This person doesn't want to show their face at this point. I'll just leave that at that and let you draw your own conclusions. Okay. Taken in a planned event by someone they know. So this would be still alive somewhere and somebody's holding them, which would be a wonderful, not a wonderful scenario, but like at this point, it'd be a best case scenario, right? Taken by someone they know, someone's kind of holding them. Unfortunately, that's not what I'm getting at all. I'm getting the death card instead, not the card we would want to see. Because what did I just say? Best case scenario that they would be alive in this, and unfortunately, we got the death card. I still don't want to think that. Okay. Did they disappear into the forest on their own? Did they wander off? That was another one of your questions because that's what the parents are saying happened. Did they wander off? Jack and Lily all by themselves? They just kind of wandered off into the forest. regardless of how cold it was and not dressed and all that stuff they were. No, no. Again, very reminiscent of this other card when I asked tips for searchers on where to look for them, and it pointed us to a man and a woman. Now we've got a man and a woman doing things we know they should not do. This is the double card. Um, yeah, a man and a woman doing things they should not do. So that again is very concerning. Very concerning when we get cards like that. I've got the death card right before this. And then I've got the man and the woman doing things they should not do. It's very concerning. Very concerning. They didn't wander off on their own. No, they didn't. A man and a woman were involved. You can guess who that man and woman were. Were they abducted by some random man and woman? Were they abducted? Jack and Lily, were they abducted? Put those back. I'll put them back now. Were Jack and Lily abducted? No, they were taken away. Again, we've got this thing with potential man moving. We've got a woman and child right here. We do have a water scene again. Don't like that. I feel like they were moved. They were moved. They were moved. Definitely, they were moved. One of you asked, did something happen inside the house? I think this is a good time to ask that question. Did something happen to them inside the house? With the way the cards are pointing, did something happen to these kids inside the house? Well, they were snuck out of the house. That's what I feel. This is the Seven of Swords. And remember when I asked about foul play and I was saying, yeah, there are certain cards that would give me a hint of foul play. Well, this is one of them. This is one of them. These are not a good lineup to have. We had it like this: death, the devil, and the Seven of Swords. I mean, you guys, even if you don't read tarot, you can look at those cards and say, that's not good cards, right? Got someone marching in with death here. We've got a man and a woman chained and doing the devil's bidding in the middle. And then this one, we've got somebody taking something from the homes, sneaking it out. Yeah, I think something did happen inside the house, and then they were moved outside. That's what the cards are saying. This is not a good reading, and I think, but this does look like it's going to come to light. Why is mom missing in action right now? Why is mom missing in action? That was another one of your questions. Why is mom missing in action? Well, because of the man. She's missing in action because of this man. I can only guess that's probably the stepfather, unless she had somebody on the side. She's missing in action because of a man. Why did mom leave with the baby was another question of yours. Why did she leave with the baby? Why did mom leave with the baby? That is the truth. The mom knows, okay, the mom knows the truth. The mom knows the truth. And I think the truth is catching up with her. The mom knows the truth. I'm sorry, I just said it. It came out of my mouth. I try not to do that. I try really hard not to do that. There was a shoe print outside. We're going to ask if that shoe print was one of theirs. Was that shoe print one of Jack and Lily's, the one that was outside? It was somewhere, I think, a little removed from the area. Was the shoe print Jack and Lily's? And there's no way to say. No, I'm not so sure, because this is a person making things disappear. So it may have happened before they disappeared. May have happened before they disappeared. Anything else we need to know before we go? Because this has been a sad case. It's been sad. I don't like what I'm seeing here. Anything else we need to know before we go about Jack and Lily? Anything else we need to know before we go? Okay, so look out into the night, into the dark. Again, we have this person sort of by water. You've got mountains there. I'm going to guess Nova Scotia must have mountains. I don't know anything about Nova Scotia. Um, I feel like they were taken out at night. I feel like there is some sort of um, water involvement, possibly. Looks like there may be water involvement. I'm going to ask one more time for this area is so remote, but any sort of landmark that could help, even like a name of a road or something like that, something that could help, anything. And I'm just going to hold this card up. Landmark, something that could help because I don't know anything about the area. All right, so here, landmark, something that could help. Sometimes I see those two things, gray, as a bridge, the sides of it, the pillars of it, going like forward. And we saw that bridge thing before, and here we have water again. It looks like two areas, so potentially, and why I say that the dog and the wolf are two kind of opposites, one on one side and one on the other. So potential like this is this county and this is this county, or I don't know how it's split up, but you know what I mean? Like the waterway may be splitting something, dividing something. And it happened at night again. We see the moon. So very concerning here. Again, I'm being pointed towards water, possibly a bridge. That's the closest I can get to a landmark, but people who know the area can maybe look at that and say that stands for boom, something else. And we know what it is because that lobster there and the dog and the wolf means something to me. The domesticated dog, the wild wolf, the impulses, overcoming person, it looks like. It's just sad. I hate reading things like this because it just breaks my heart. Okay, that is all I have to say. Those are your questions answered on Jack and Lily Sullivan, and I would say let's hope for the best. All right, take care, everyone. Bye bye.